Over the next few slides, you'll be shown some utility programs. Can you guess what type of programs they are? This would be an antivirus program. If you look at it, we've got virus scanning, we've got items about privacy controls, anti-phishing, etc. This is a disk defragmenter or disk defragmentation. This is where we analyse our disk and we can move different items from our secondary storage, external hard drive, and we can move items to free up some space. Here is an example of compression software. Compression software can reduce file sizes by removing redundant data. Here is an example of a file management system or a file manager. You should hopefully be used to these kind of things because this is where we can manage our files, we can create folders to store our work in. Remember, this is just a visualization of memory and it's not actually what memory looks like. The last type of utilities program that we've not talked about is backups. We can back up a computer system so that if anything was to happen to our external hard drive, then we could recover that data. In today's lesson, we're going to be learning about open source software versus closed source software. Have a look at our keyword wall and try and notice as many types of application software as you can. Hopefully you've noticed that most of the words on here are types of application software. Remember, when we're talking about software, we need to be careful to talk about the types of software rather than the examples. So, for example, word processing software. You can also see on here desktop publishing, slideshow and presentation, multimedia and video editing, spreadsheets, photo and graphics manipulation, communications, social networking, email, modeling, web browsers, gaming, database management software, and sometimes these can also be split into general purpose and specific purpose. Let's give ourselves a reminder of the difference between application software and utility software. So application software allows the user to actually perform a specific task. These are usually created for the user directly. They can be general purpose, so they can have many different purposes, or specific purpose where they perform one task, such as payroll. Utility software, however, is designed to optimize the performance of the computer. It can also help us with our security. It performs a specific task to help the upkeep of the system. And examples of utility software include antivirus, disk defragmentation, file handlers, backups, updates, firewalls, and compression software. Open source software is freely available for anybody. That means you can see the source code. There's no copyright protection at all, so you can edit this code. And Linux is a great example of open source software. Linux was originally developed by enthusiasts. They wanted to produce their own version of an operating system, but they all have slightly different distributions. However, at the centre and at the heart of the Linux distribution is the Linux kernel. And this is the kernel that gets the computer devices communicating with different software. But it does mean that you can adapt it. You can make your own extensions and you can change the software to suit what you want it to be. Closed source software is usually protected under copyright laws. It's usually the Copyright Design and Patent Act. And it's only available to those who pay for the software. Unlike open source software, remember, when you can usually download this for free. You do not have access to the source code, and so you can't actually edit this software. Usually, you'll find this kind of software which is off the shelf and bespoke. So we can buy these from a shop. But when you buy these, you're not really actually buying the software, you're actually buying the license and the software. If you're a school and you purchase a piece of software, your license will be more expensive. You might only buy one copy of the software, but you have to buy a license to allow multiple users to use this software. Give two headings, open and closed source software. Can you match up the characteristics to each of the types of software? Here are the answers. Open source software is actually software which is licensed for use, but there's no charge for the license and anybody can use it. Remember, this software can also be distributed with the source code so anybody can modify it, and that means any new software created must also be open source software. The source code can be altered, and this means you have mass user development. Closed source software means there are restrictions on how the software can be used. You might need a site license. The company who wrote the software will hold the copyright. It's also sometimes known as proprietary software. The source code is a secret. In closed source software, they don't want other people to see their code. And it's protected by the Copyright Designs and Patents Act. Here are a few examples of open and closed source software. We have for open source things like waveform audio file, .wav. We also have .mp3. Now this doesn't mean that if a song has been made that you can go and copy it. However, what it does mean is a piece of software can utilise the .mp3 format to create your own music. So if you're making some music in a piece of software such as Audacity, you could save it in a .mp3 format. There's also .txt files, .pdf files, .exe, etc. Closed file formats include Microsoft Word, Excel and PowerPoint, as well as Adobe Illustrator and a few others. In summary, open source there's no charge for license, it's usually free to download, and the source code can be distributed, edited and developed. Closed source is known as proprietary software and the source code is not distributed, often protected by Copyright Design and Patents Acts, and there are restrictions on how this can be used.